So I'm doing a shallow dive on Meta Materials. Meta Materials. Ticker symbol is MMAT. And already I'm seeing some red flags on this company. So we're going to go through it, all of it. This is a really high-tech, like growthy stock company from what it seems like it is from the numbers. But there's a lot to learn. So let's go into it. On the max chart, what you'll see is that this company's actually been around for a while, since 2011 at least. It's been through a name change, and it's hovered around a less than $1 or around $1 or two price range. Now, if you just look at this company here for the last since 2015, you'll see that it's got no revenue and it keeps losing money. Hopefully, to scale up production and do some research and development. But I don't know if that's the best. I don't know if the public market is the best way to fund such a high tech company. Let's go to the profile and read off some of the things they're developing. All right, this is just mind boggling, the terms. Okay, so we got things like nano composites. We got Meta Air, laser glare protection eyewear. Right, nano web. I don't even know what these things are. Right, I have to read into them. Transparent conductive film, holo optics, a holographic optical element, GlucoWise, a non-invasive glucose measurement device, and MetaSurface, which allows an enhancement signal to noise ratio of up to 40 times in magnetic resonance imaging scans. So we got color shifting foils and all kinds of weird stuff here. Banknotes, secure government documents, commercial branding, OEM providers of various industries, aerospace, automotive, etc. So it used to be called Torchlight Energy, and it's a really like high-end, cream of the crop type of tech company. But it something bothers me about this company because they managed to lose $90 million, and it's only 130 of them. I mean, if you grab 130 if you grab 130 people and give them like 5 million each, they'll struggle to spend it without buying any large purchases in a year. I mean, I don't know how this company managed this, but they actually have lots of losses, no earnings yet. They're the type of company that needs to basically score a large contract. I don't know, with Meta, with Facebook, or with a different company that suits their needs, maybe governments or healthcare devices or something like that. So they definitely need a big contract. I didn't see any big contract. I browsed through the news and I can actually not find anything. It's just announcements about board of directors, about patents, about quarterly results, more appointments, blah blah blah, lawsuits, blah blah, but no actual contracts. Like I don't see them. I don't see a deal anywhere with anyone. So it's time for us to look at their numbers and charts and see if we can learn anything from them. So a lot of these numbers are going to be the first time I haven't seen them. So we're going to see them together. I like to do quarterly, so it gives me a little more in-depth look. Company is virtually no revenue because it is a almost 300 million market cap company. 3 million of revenue is absolutely nothing per quarter. So they're basically non-operational at the moment. So research and development, they better be spending all their money here, and it looks like they're only spending about 5 million per quarter. So 20 million a year. All right. Operating expenses through the roof. Operating income minus about 100 million per year, which is a third of their market cap. Common stock shares outstanding. So it's been diluted 9 times since 2019. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 9. So if you own 9% of the company, you own 1% of the company now. If you just kept your shares, so you would have to keep buying 9 times your money over in the last 3 years in order to keep the same percentage of the company to your name. So huge dilution there. It looks like that's how they're operating their business. They're selling shares, which is fine as long as the investors want to support them. They're currently sitting on, it looks like $47.5 million of cash. So that'd be quite a lot, quite enough to operate for a while, maybe 6 months. the rate they're burning money. So we'll find out. Maybe a year. So those are the numbers and statistics. Okay, we can't really learn that much because it's supposed to be a growth company. But how are you a growth company if you've been around since 2011 and you haven't turned a profit yet? How does that work? I mean, I don't understand, right? No matter how high tech the company is, it's been so many years. Like, is this thing gonna get funded for another 10 years? And as an investor, what am I supposed to hope for? 10 years of the same? I mean, it looks like they're spending a lot of money now, so maybe they're ramping up production. I don't know. If you do know, please comment in the section below. But even then, it's taken them 11 years, at least since the charts. That's how far the charts go back. The company may be public for a lot longer than that. It's taken them 11 years to score their first contract. I don't know if I want to be invested in a company like that that stays public for 11 years and then finally get some kind of contract on their technology. And they say they're doing all these things, they're providing OEM parts to like aerospace and this and that. But how are you doing that with only 3 million revenue? Right? Are you selling lenses that are worth like 5 cents each? Because then I would understand, right? And 130 employees, you can't feed them, with $3 million revenue. All of their money is going basically on to payroll. So I don't think they're scaling up any production because 130 people, it's a small company, but if you give them 100,000 each, all right, that's like 13 million. That's basically your payrolls and operation expenses. So I don't know if those guys are doing like actual producing stuff or they're part of research teams or what. I don't know the exact breakdown, but they're certainly not hiring companies outside of their company to try to help them scale production. So I'm a bit worried about that. Things that they've got going for them is fancy names. Okay, so they got all kinds of tech that I don't understand. If I were to invest in this company, I would have to do a ton of research. Okay, first of all, I didn't even know what the company competitors are. So I would have to go to each one of their technologies, try to figure out if anyone else is doing this. If any other big firm is doing the same tech, forget it, right? If there's a small firm but they have a contract with a big firm, I would take them over this company, right? I don't know how many contracts they have, but it doesn't look like any money's coming in. So if there is something, it's fairly recent, but I didn't see anything on the news feed. And they probably announce it. I mean, they want people to invest money into the company as soon as they get a contract. Public companies, especially, they automatically go to the press and release that thing. So at least in the last 3 or something months of articles that I skimmed through, I didn't see any of that. So I don't know what's going on exactly. So, but I would have to look into, it looks like they're in a bunch of industries. So you don't really have to look into industry risk, but you may need to look at. You definitely need to look at like competitive risk. You definitely need to look at what the major companies are developing themselves. If there is some tech that they can't do, this company could be a buyout target. But the red flag here is that how long it's been around. Like, why hasn't a company already bought them out? For 13 years of developing cutting edge technology, you only got 3 million revenue and no contracts and no buyout. Like, what's going on? So personally, I have way too many questions before I invest in this company. It's a growth company, but it's old. It's a growth company, but it doesn't grow revenue. It's a growth company that only spends like 100% of its operating costs on payroll. And so I'm really not sure what's going on. So it looks like it's kind of like it's almost like halted. The stock price kind of reflects that. It looks like there was some kind of hope here. It shot up to 12.5 on June 14th, 2021, probably on some news or hopes of something else. Personally, I wouldn't bet on a trade like this because this thing could drift a lot lower before that spike happens again. So what if it goes down to like 10 cents and then spikes up to 70 cents? You still won't be able to recoup your losses. I would certainly not invest a lot of money unless I've done all of the research. And this is definitely not a due diligence video here. This is a shallow look from what the company looks like from the surface, looking down. It looks like the company's been founded in 1987. The electronic components listed on the NASDAQ. One thing that does help is this analyst forecast. So for growth companies, I actually do like to look at the analysts. For companies that make money, you only really need to be concerned if the company is kind of like red tilted, which means a lot of the analysts have a sell rating for some reason, and then it's a cue for you to go in and do a lot of deep homework as to why, But what the only promising thing is that if this side is to be believed, there are 9 analyst ratings. There are 5 buys and 3 strong buys and 1 hold. So nothing really negative here. So apparently, cumulatively, the analysts think the stock is going to go up. So you can see here their price predictions. Look what happened here in October, though. October 21. There's a big sell rating tilt here. So I'd probably have to go back to October and 21 and see what happened, learn the history of the company and why the ratings have improved ever since. But the thing is, October 21, let's take a look at the price chart. All right, 5 years. October, what happened in October 21? We got a bunch of sell ratings and then it got a pop. So something must have improved. Maybe they got some kind of contract. But if they did, it's been 2 years, or at least a year, and 21 October. Was it October 21, was it? I was looking at October 20th, my bad. Okay, so there's a big sell rating here right after the pops, and around the $5 level, and the stock's been drifting down, and it's lost 80% of its value ever since, even though the ratings have turned positive. So there's definitely something fishy. Like, I would have to do a ton of homework. I don't know if this is to be believed. Not only would I try to understand the company itself, but I would also look in the internals, look at the people, look at the management, their history, the history. If you want to gamble, fine. I just did a video on ONDS, and I thought that might be actually kind of a more worthwhile multiple of your company to get you a company more worth of getting multiple times your money as an investment. But this thing's got too many red flags for me. I wouldn't even spend the time to do research on it just because the way it looks from the surface. If you have some inside knowledge about the company and you know the technology or whatever, and you know that there's something coming up, and you're familiar with the business and whatnot and potential buyouts, whatever, if you have some kind of knowledge, if you have an edge in the market on this company, then fine. Make sure you do all the due diligence you can and then put some money on it. But if you don't, if you're just spraying money, there are so many better companies out there to try to gamble on, that from first look, this doesn't look good at all, to me. But, looks are one thing. Like I said, if you have knowledge, and you know that some kind of tech is going to be wanted by a bigger company, then fine. If there's something brewing, like a contract that's brewing with this company and something larger, fine. But you have to know that. If you don't know these facts, then why would you put money in there? Right? There's no point in my mind. There's so many better opportunities than this. So for me, no go only because I don't have the information. I would have to have an informational edge in order to even think about this company. All right, hopefully that helps a little bit. Let me know what you think and what I missed, and especially for those time periods that the stock went wild. If you know the reason behind it, let me know in the comments below. All right, that's it for now. Peace.